Good morning. My name is Philip Sanchez, Phillip Pasadena Police Chief, and welcome to Pasadena. As we approach the 4th of July, the message from the Pasadena Police Department and our public safety partners in fire is zero tolerance for fireworks. There are no safe fireworks. You'll hear more about that later from Fire Chief Bertrell Washington. We do have an organized program here at Americafest. It's at the iconic Rose Bowl. We ask that people that are visiting, living or working in Pasadena, if they want to enjoy the 4th of July, that they attend a professional fireworks show like Americafest at the Rose Bowl. Last year we had about 60,000 people in total that were associated with the event. We had proactive patrols between the Pasadena Fire Department and the Pasadena Police Department. We're out looking for illegal fireworks and arresting or making citations or issuing citations. It should be abundantly clear to your viewers that if you're in Pasadena and you're using illegal fireworks and we find you, that you are subject to citation or arrest. We've seen incidents in the paper locally where there have been folks that have been arrested with large amounts of fireworks, and depending on the amount and depending on the use of those fireworks, it can be a felonious behavior. Every year there's tragedies that we hear about with respect to fireworks in our community. Let's not have that occur this year. Let's be smart about what we do in Pasadena. Again, if you're gonna enjoy the 4th of July, please come down to Americafest and enjoy that time by professional pyrotechnic experts. I'll turn it over now to Chief Washington. Thank you.
Good morning. Bertrell Washington, B as in boy, E-R-T-R-A-L, Washington, common spelling. Good morning. My name is Bertrell Washington. I serve as the Pasadena Fire Chief. I'm here on behalf of the Pasadena Fire Department and the City of Pasadena to speak with you about the dangers of fireworks and what our firefighters are out here to do throughout the day. This is the first time in many years that we can be very satisfied that we had a great deal of rain over the past year. Although this rain was very good for our drought, it left the hillsides covered with a lot of grass and brush. This vegetation, along with dead or dying trees, can be a significant problem for us if things like fireworks or other hazards start our hillsides on fire. The wildfire potential in the valley and throughout Los Angeles County has already been a huge problem for many of our neighbors. Therefore, we must be very vigilant and continue to take preventive measures to keep ourselves, our families, our friends, and our neighbors safe. Even things such as fireworks or what many people think are safe in sparklers can start a devastating fire. As a preventative measure that we're taking today, our firefighters that you see here today are going to be spraying Phos-Chek around the Rose Bowl and throughout the Arroyo. Phos-Chek is going to be sprayed in the Linda Vista area as long as Arroyo brush areas where we have identified a high hazard. This is a preventative measure for the 4th of July as we celebrate with a variety of professional fireworks that are going to take place at the Rose Bowl. Phos-Chek is a wildland fire retardant. The main ingredients include phosphates and fertilizers that help revegetate trees and grassland. It's not harmful to any pets or the environment. For your safety, there will be a zero tolerance fireworks policy throughout our city. Pasadena Fire Department will work very closely with the police department, who do an outstanding job working in a very serious partnership to make sure that we keep our city safe. Although some products are identified as safe and sane, we want to let you know that there are no fireworks out there that are safe. The risk of injury for fireworks is highest amongst our children from 5 to 14 years old, data shows. Pasadena Fire Department volunteers will be canvassing the neighborhoods, passing out flyers to let you all know how dangerous fireworks can be. So these are some of the fireworks flyers that you're going to see throughout the Pasadena neighborhood. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, approximately 10,500 injuries occur from fireworks each year. 50% of those injuries are amongst children. Many other injuries never come to the hospitals or are reported. So we're sure that there's more injuries than what we know about. Sparklers alone account for many of the emergency room fireworks injuries. Sparklers can reach temperatures of up to 2,000 degrees. This is hot enough to melt aluminum and copper. Anything that flies across the air or skips across the ground or has an element of surprise like a boom, those are things that are illegal and should not be used. During the 4th, many celebrate over barbecues and cooking, and cooking fires account for about a third of the fires that we experience. So we ask that you be very careful around your barbecues. We ask that you keep a water source nearby, and we ask that you properly dispose of your coals. So on behalf of the Pasadena Fire Department and the City of Pasadena, we wish you a happy 4th of July, and we ask that you please be safe and enjoy this holiday. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transition to our firefighters who are really going to be spending the entire day protecting a corridor of our high hazard area, not only around the Rose Bowl, but throughout the Arroyo. As we know, the fireworks can fly out in a distance, although we have that engineered. And we also know that this hazard is going to be among us throughout the summer. So the Phos-Chek that they're applying is not only for the celebration on the 4th, but it's also for the summer high hazard season. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our PIO, Lisa Darian, who's going to help us with that transition. Lisa?
We're good to go with. We're going to start right across the street here, so we'll give you a few minutes to reposition if that's okay.
Chief, if you've got, Chief, for a few seconds, just some hard data if you would, just stand in front of the mics.
Sure.
How much Phos-Chek are you guys going to be spraying around how big of an area here at the Arroyo?
Sure. We're going to spray about 8 tons of Phos-Chek. And so that can take us, it really depends on the mixture and the flow, but it could take us anywhere from about, I'd say about 3 to 4 miles around the entire Arroyo.
How far from the point of, say, the road, which in essence is part of a fire break itself, do you shoot this stuff everywhere, 50, 100 feet, more?
Yes, and again, it can really vary. It depends on the hillside and the amount of vegetation that is along each area. And so really specific to your question as well, there's some great examples behind us. So if you look at this tree here and how it hangs over, there's a defensible space where you're standing. But if this tree is packed amongst other trees and dead brush, which is at the base of this tree, then we could spray anywhere from 20 feet to maybe 50 feet or greater.
That gives you basically the defensible space, the safety there, that if something does hit this, it's going to smolder out. It's not going to literally start cascading upward in the ladder.
That is our expectation, that the Phos-Chek, where if something does spark, it'll smolder out and it will not spread and catch other brush on fire. So that is what we'd like to do. However, it certainly depends on the amount of heat and fuel and our ability to get to it quickly to make sure that we're able to fully extinguish the problem.
Obviously, we've had a lot of summers lately with the drought where there seem to be a lot of fires, but for some reason this year I feel like there's been a whole bunch of smaller ones, at least for these last couple of weeks. Do we have an idea why, or is this year more important to you in any particular way because of the rain that we've had?
Sure. Well, and as I mentioned, I think this year is one of our most concerning years because we had a great deal of rain and we had a great deal of growth. So I do think that that is part of it. But I think, like you saw yesterday, where the firefighters that we have and the mutual aid system that we have, not only in Southern California but throughout this state, our firefighters are very well trained and they're able to get on top of issues very, very quickly. So that's what happened even yesterday. We sent firefighters even here from the city of Pasadena to the city of Burbank to help them very quickly get on top of that fire, so that it doesn't spread to very valuable homes and people that live there. Yes. Yeah, we do the Phos-Chek here every year because again through our fire department and working with our other city leaders, we've identified the high risk, and we want to make sure the people that come to celebrate here are safe and that we keep our residents here safe. So this is why we've chosen to invest the money and invest the time, and our firefighters do an excellent job again of helping us and getting that Phos-Chek applied. You're welcome. It has. It wouldn't necessarily need to mean that, but because we've had more rain and more growth of vegetation, the rain has not continued. So that growth tends to dry up, and then it becomes a high hazard for fuel source. You're welcome.